unbeaten fighters and major performers. I can't tell you how excited I am about this.
James Helder, IFL TV, MTK Global. With me, I've got promoter Eddie Hearn. We're in New York. Just really want to get an immediate reaction.
I was hoping for a quiet night
to what we've just seen. Deontay Wilder's been on the Instagram, been on the emails. Mm-hmm. Firstly, let's start at the start. We saw the Instagram video from Wilder. What was your initial response?
I didn't see that at first. I've seen it now, but I got an email from Deontay Wilder, actually, not from Shirley or Al or anyone like that, from Deontay. Just basically saying that it was addressed to me, Anthony and Rob McCracken, and it just said, "Dear Anthony, you said in an interview that if I gave you 50 million, you'd sign for the fight tomorrow. I'm going to give you a 50-50 split of the fight, which obviously isn't of interest, but with a 50 million guarantee, which is of interest. Please accept this fight by tomorrow," which kind of makes me feel like it's a PR move more than anything, especially as it's come from Deontay Wilder. But we have to take it seriously. And, you know, if there's 50, they want total control of the show and at a date and venue of their choice, again, not necessarily a deal breaker, but if this is serious, we really need to look at it. Proof of funds, a proper contract, see the terms and what they require from us, obviously, and then go from there. But it's a lot of money, and, you know, we really want to do the fight in the UK. We've built something incredible there, and all the basis of us doing the fight and our offer was to do it in the UK. But if there's substantial money elsewhere, we'll definitely look at it. But I don't know, it's a bit of a weird setup coming from Wilder, and obviously no disrespect to Deontay, but I don't believe he has that kind of money. So I want to know where it's coming from and who's paying it, and we can't just afford to accept a deal that doesn't exist. So it's not a case of sign the contract and then we'll go and raise the money. If you've got it, show us it now, and then we can talk. But definitely interested. I mean, I spoke to AJ. He knows the situation. We want to see if it's real. We want to see the money. We want to know where it is, of course. And then we'll carry on talking. We have a meeting on Friday. It's a bit weird that they've put this out. Like, we've booked a meeting in for Friday, but they've obviously put this out publicly before, which, I don't know. Is it a PR move? Is it a real offer? We'll find out. But if it is real, it's definitely something we're going to take seriously.
Was Anthony Joshua excited when you spoke to him? Was he hesitant?
He was
what
like,
was the mood?
Yeah, he was like, who's putting the money up? Like, you know, does the money exist? I can't answer that question at the moment. Where is it? I can't answer that question at the moment. When is it? I can't answer that question at the moment. But the amount is of interest, as he said before. You know, I mean, the 50-50 split's an interesting one, but 50 million is a lot of money. But it's not a case of we'll agree the deal and then you've got to go and try and find it. Again, if it's there and it's up front and it's held and it's secure, it's definitely something we're going to look at.
Does this change how you go into the meeting on Friday? Does this change your mindset on stuff that you potentially try and negotiate and getting it back to the UK, for instance?
Yeah, I mean, look, the money's important, but the UK element is really important to us. One, because we've built something great here or in the UK, and two, because we feel like we've deserved the right for Anthony to have this fight in the UK. Again, if there's a huge offer to do it in Vegas, then we'll definitely look at that. I'm not really interested in touting it out around the world to see who can pay the money. Saudi Arabia, Dubai, like for this fight, it's got to be the UK in my opinion, or possibly Vegas. But again, I don't know, like, the email was from Deontay Wilder. So there's loads of things we need to know. I won't bore you with it, but you know, Anthony has existing broadcast agreements with certain broadcasters, which he can't break. So it's all very well you having total control of the show, but obviously you have to bear that in mind as well, which they'll know as well. So at this stage, I can't tell you if it's real or not, but we have to take it seriously, because if it is real, it's definitely of interest.
If it checks out that it's a 50 million, the offer is genuine, the money is there, how long will it take you guys to negotiate and get this signed off? Do you see it potentially could be done by the end of the weekend?
Not this weekend, no. But if the money's there and the venue's to our liking, and like I said, the money's secure, and you know the other rights are taken care of, there's a real strong chance this fight could happen. There's still a chance in other ways, you know what I'm saying, with our offers or splits, but this is something that we have to take seriously. If it is serious, we won't know that until we have the meeting or we see some formal paperwork, i.e. an offer from someone who's going to pay the money and an offer and a contract with actual proper terms and what they require from Anthony Joshua.
You've been adamant that Deontay Wilder will face Dominic Brazil.
I still believe that, yeah.
Rather than face Anthony Joshua. Does this throw a spanner in the works of your thinking?
No, I still think
offer?
that. I don't, but I can't take the offer too seriously until I see its substance, you know? And that's not me poo-pooing it, because if it, like I said, and I say it again, if it's real and it's secure and it suits us, we have to take this offer very, very seriously. But until I see how serious it is, it's a great move by Deontay, because the people who, like even the responses that I've had from the journalists, it's only probably about 20 or 30% of them who have said, have they actually got the money? Or are they going to try and find it afterwards? I said, good question. But it's a smart move because it makes everyone say, oh, you've got to take the fight now. You've got to take the fight. And we may do. But we have to actually learn about, like, can't just be, here's the offer. We'll do it where we want and when we want, but agree it and it's done and we'll sort of let you know later. He's not really in that sort of position.
Is it a flat fee of 50 million,
No,
regardless of how much it makes?
No, but again, this is where it's clever. It's a 50-50 split against a guarantee of 50. So if the fight made 120, he'd get another 10 million. But it's not going to make it. It's not going to make that. What they've done here is they're banking on the fact that the fight could make $70 million, and Wilder gets 20 million against the 12.5 that we offered him. It's quite confusing, but there's a science to it. But again, I don't know. Are they going to try and get the fight and then put it out to tender? We're not interested in that. You've either got the money or you haven't. So we'll see. But
have you had any other discussions with anyone else from their team regarding this offer from Wilder, regarding any emails and stuff?
I have not See, I made the offer to Shirley 2 weeks ago. They never came back to me. They've been preparing this offer for 2 weeks. But again, I'm meeting them on Friday, so it's a bit strange I didn't present it there. And they haven't... This offer did not come from Shirley. It did not come from Al. It was a personal email from Deontay Wilder. So, again, if he's got the money, let's see it. And like AJ replied in his Instagram post I just saw, let's roll. He said, yeah.
I see that.
But he's right. He wants this fight. He wants to go. So as long as everything's right for him in here, and we're not looking to be difficult, then there's no reason why this fight can't happen on these terms or other terms, which we may get there on Friday and they might say, oh, we need this. We need AJ for 2 weeks. He's got to fly around the world doing this. Make it too difficult for us to accept. But within that conversation, we may find another model that both sides like. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. All right. Well, hopefully we'll find out some more news. What did you think of the video?
It's exciting.
What did you think of the video of Wilder himself?
It was very clever. Very clever. Very clever. Very clever. They've preyed on the words of Anthony, which was, give me $50 million, I'll sign it tomorrow.
Coogan's video.
Was that? Well, there you go. Yeah. And so they've said, there's $50 million, you've got to sign it tomorrow. It's like, wait on a minute, mate, where's the $50 million and where's the contract?
Do you think Joshua would regret that comment now?
Because everybody knows, like, you can't, it's like me saying to you, James, you say, well, tell you what, give me £1 million, I'll do anything. All right, there's £1 million, go and do anything. Well, hang on a minute, what is it you want me to do? So we don't need to know a lot. We just need to know where the money is. Show us it, that it's secure and safe for Anthony. We want to know where the fight is. We can't expect to sign an agreement where we don't even know where the fight is. Obviously, the stuff around the TV rights as well. But again, if it's interesting, it's of interest. We want to make this fight. This is the first time they've made, I'll say, an offer. I want to see the offer from Shelley and Al, really, rather than from Deontay. But if this is an offer, it's the first one they've made. It's very interesting, and we need to explore it. And I look forward to exploring it in the meeting on Friday and seeing some formal paperwork.
Can you give us an update on what's going on with Dillian White? I've seen some interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's a bit. He's pissed off, really, and rightly so. Last, I think, like early October, there was a fight made between Dominic Breazeale and Eric Molina, and the WBC said, or I think the promoter said, it was a final eliminator for the WBC title. But Molina was like 3 or 4. Sorry, Breazeale was 3 or 4, and Molina was like 9 or 10. So I wrote to Maurizio Suleiman and said, listen, Dillian White is ranked between those guys, or ahead of Breazeale. We're available for a final eliminator. You can't do that. And Maurizio Suleiman wrote to me and said, no, just to confirm, Breazeale against Molina is not a final eliminator.
It was just an eliminator.
Yes. There were also members of the press that asked the WBC, and they also responded to the press in writing that the fight was not a final eliminator. From there, we applied for the WBC silver title to be on the line on October 29th for Dillian White against Hellenius on the Joshua card. Because we were then, I think, 2-1, and we were thinking we want to be the mandatory for Deontay Wilder. Boxed Hellenius, paid our sanction fees, won the fight, then went out, stayed at number 1 in the WBC, agreed to fight Lucas Brown, who I think was 10 in the WBC or something, put the WBC on the silver title on the line, paid the sanction fees. Then we're thinking we're going to be made mandatory for Deontay Wilder. Now, they may ask us to make a final eliminator against the next available, Dominic Breazeale, but maybe they'll just make a straight mandatory. Then we get an email yesterday saying the WBC are ordering a final eliminator between Dillian White and Luis Ortiz, who just got knocked out by Deontay Wilder, to be the second mandatory. And I wrote back and said, what do you mean the second mandatory? Oh, because Dominic Breazeale was already mandatory. So I said, how? Well, he fought a final eliminator against Eric Molina. Whoa. No, he didn't. And you told me he didn't. And by the way, we've been chasing down a mandatory ourselves for 6 months, paying the sanction fees and pursuing this route with this governing body. So we've got a problem. And we're going to be sending correspondence to the WBC. In my opinion, Dillian White should be mandatory for Deontay Wilder.
Is it frustrating when you build a fighter up, pay the sanction fees,
Of course.
as you say, and you don't?
All you want is the truth. Oh, listen, I like the WBC. I like Maurizio Suleiman, and sometimes governing bodies just like to try and keep everybody happy.
Of course,
it's not a state of corruption, but this isn't right. You know, we've been told one thing, we've pursued this, we've paid our dues, we've paid our sanction fees, and if you want to make a final eliminator for Dillian White, okay.
He'll happily fight Breazeale.
As long as he fights Wilder, the winner fights Wilder next. This is why I think Wilder is fighting Breazeale next. Because people tell me that fight's already done. People are telling me that that fight is done, and the excuse will be for Wilder, I'm facing my mandatory. Breazeale, he ain't your mandatory. But again, now we have the offer for the Joshua fight. We'll see what's real and what's not.
Interesting times. We'll find out some more news imminently. Eddie Hearn, thank you very much for
No
the
problem.
update. Appreciate it.
3 rounds, 3 minutes, 3 fights.
Unbeaten fighters and major performers. I can't tell you how excited I am about this.